I've got a heartbeat and fat. Are you going to eat me next? Louis licked his lips hungrily, standing up to tower over her. He raised his arms like a bear and stomped forward. You look delicious. I'm gonna chomp you up. Serena burst into laughter as she scrambled to her feet and ran away. They chased each other around the crown of the hill, pausing only when her foot caught on a rock and she fell. The hem of her dress rose to reveal a knee scratched and red. Small beads of blood gathered on the skin. Louis dropped the mad act and knelt beside her. Oh no, are you okay? She nodded, but bit her lip. Her eyes grew glossy with unshed tears. Here, Louis said. He leaned forward and dabbed the wound with the cuff of his sleeve. The cotton was stained and mucky already, and the blood added a fresh patch of color to it. Is that better? He asked, sitting down beside her. Serena nodded, but did not answer. Louis placed an arm around her shoulder and pulled her closer. You're going to be all right, he soothed. It's all going to be all right. They sat for some time in silence, overlooking the place that had come to be known over the years as the Broken City. The crumbling ruins of the metropolitan city, from afar, looked dead and arid. Over on the far side of the city, they could see the twinkling ripples of the lake, a massive expanse of water that bordered the northern ridge. A place which, Louis had been told, held a whole new subspecies of mad, creatures who had turned and learned to swim and thrive in the water. Their skin black and slimy, they clutched lost boys from the shore and dragged them to the depths below. He had shuddered when the other boys told him this. The idea of the mad was bad enough, but water-resistant mad? Well, that was enough to keep all the boys from exploring the northern border. He was sure they were lying. Really, they were simply crude bedtime stories. But was it worth the risk? Louis? He broke out of his thoughts. Yes? Tell me a joke. What kind of joke? A funny one, Serena said. Helpful. Okay. What do you get if you cross a giraffe with a window cleaner? Serena pulled away from his arm, a grin already on her face. I don't know. A window cleaner that doesn't need a ladder, Louis said, waiting for Serena's fit of giggling to commence. Instead, she looked confused. What's a giraffe? His smile faded and he tapped his chin. I don't actually know. Max told me that he saw one in a book. Maybe it's a bit like an alpaca? Alpaca! Right. Louis looked down at Serena's knee. The bleeding had stopped. There might be a small bruise later, but otherwise it looked fine. She now seemed distracted enough to have forgotten all about it. Come on, let's get you home, he said. Maybe they've got pictures of giraffes and alpacas. Alpacas! Right. Louis slowed down and committed it to memory. Alpaca. Got it. Alpacas and giraffes in one of those dusty books in the old library. Serena fell into thought. She tucked a lock of hair behind her ear. Maybe. But which shelf? Louis shrugged. I don't know, he admitted, having only ever read 1 or 2 books from the shelves which lined the Broken City's community hub, the place where the folk of the city slept as one. Maybe start by looking under G? It doesn't work like that. Serena's voice trailed away. Serena, what's wrong? She didn't respond. His gaze was drawn to where she pointed, her eyes wide. It emerged from the bushes nearby, limping crudely on its one good leg. A mad, its eyes glowing red as it locked onto Serena and Louis and cocked its head in their direction. Louis took a deep breath, remembering what his father had taught him. Panic is your enemy. Just because they're mindless doesn't mean you need to be. Hey, Serena, Louis said, picking up a large dead branch. What restaurant does this mad go to? The mad began running straight for them. I don't know, Serena said, shocked that Louis could joke at a time like this. IHOP, Louis said as he swung the branch and smacked it into the mad's leg. The attacker buckled to one side and fell to the ground. The leg it had hobbled on was now twisted and bent out of shape. Nice shot, Serena cheered. Louis grabbed her hand. Okay, run, now, while it's down. They sped back down the hill, using the momentum gravity afforded them. As they